All right, everybody, we said this off the top. U.S. President Trump is now telling pregnant women not to use Tylenol, citing unproven links to autism. Now, autism experts say that the claim made by the president is not backed by science. And yet, these remarks have had a huge impact on women and parents really everywhere. So Dr. Sheila Wijayasinghe is here with the cold, hard science. Dr. Sheila, thank you for being here. Okay, let's talk about the science. Is President Trump right or wrong about the link between autism and Tylenol?
He is absolutely wrong. And this is so upsetting for the medical community and for parents and communities. Like, I'm so angry right now hearing this. Like, we knew that this was coming when they said that they were going to come up with a cure for autism. And it's so upsetting to see that they're linking this. There is no association between Tylenol use or acetaminophen use and autism. Like, bottom line, there are studies that have been done that do not show any link. It is callous and it is unfair that they're making these kinds of comments to the entire population. The medical associations around the world are reeling right now from this commentary, and it's causing so much harm to so many people.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And for anybody who's listening and watching right now and just doesn't understand, maybe it's a man who's like, I don't understand what this is about. Why would a woman need to use Tylenol during her pregnancy?
Yeah, so Tylenol is one of the safest medications we know and use during pregnancy for things like pain and fever. And pain and fever are not benign conditions in pregnancy in particular, because we know that unmanaged pain, unmanaged fever in particular, can increase the risk of miscarriage or early labor. And so this is one of the mainstays of treatment that we know is safe. There's not very many things that we can use in pregnancy. It's basically medical misogyny trying to take away an option that we know is safe for women and taking away choice. That's happening here as well as a secondary layer on top of this.
And we know it's been used for decades and decades and decades safely with pregnant women.
100%. It has been used for decades and decades. There's a study that's 2.5 million individuals that were studied looking at that association. There is no link between that, and it is, again, wrong to say this, and it's completely unacceptable.
Of course, you know, this is an administration that has its own definitions of science. So, of course, they, you know, of course, have talked a lot about vaccines. So can you please set the record straight? Do vaccines have a link to autism?
No. So vaccines do not have a link to autism. Tylenol does not have a link to autism. Like, we need to say that. This has been really, really harmful because we're seeing that vaccine-preventable illnesses are making a comeback right now. It is completely inappropriate, but we're seeing this rolling out now in this way, and so absolutely not. There's no association between vaccines and autism either.
So, you know, we've seen, you know, the rise of autism. Partially, I understand, because that umbrella term has now started. Like, the rise is not actually a rise. It's more like there are more things under the umbrella of autism. Yeah. But do we actually know really what causes autism?
Yeah, so the first cases of autism happened before we even had Tylenol to use. That's a separate issue here. But autism itself is, and I want to first say that to all of my patients, to the community members who are on the spectrum or neurodivergent, like, you are loved, you are cared for, you are valuable members of our society. Like, this is dangerous what they're doing right now. And so first off, I want to start with that. And I have to say, like, it is a multifactorial condition. It is a complex diagnosis to make. We know that genetics play a large role in this. It is not due to a vaccine causing this. It is not due to a pill causing this. And it's really, again, it is a complex medical diagnosis to make. But again, this is such a disservice to parents, families, and everybody. They're oversimplifying it, as they do with everything, for messaging and for fear-mongering.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it already, but talk to us about why this type of rhetoric is so dangerous coming from this administration.
Yeah, I mean, I think many of us have already had so many calls from our patients, our loved ones, wondering, like, is there truth? Even though we know this is utter garbage, like, we are still believing parts of it. As parents, we try to make the best decision possible for our kids, listening to our clinicians to try to find out, like, how can we best set them up for the rest of their life? And that starts preconceptually, in pregnancy, and beyond. And so causing that seed of doubt is such a harmful thing for parents. We already carry enough guilt. I think it's so awful to be able to do this, and that's a harmful rhetoric. And then it just also is punching down on people in our society who are already struggling sometimes, and it's really unfair.
Yeah. I know, as a doctor and as a mother and as, you know, someone who's got young kids herself, I'm sure you are hearing all the DMs, getting the calls from your patients, but specifically people in the autism spectrum disorder community. What are you hearing from the community about this, this so-called announcement?
I think a deep sense of hurt. and just feeling like we are being made to feel undervalued. We are told that this is something that we could cure, and that is so unfair. And I want to honor all the people who are speaking out, using their voice to speak up about this and sharing their perspectives, because it is such an important thing to fight back against. Like, we're doing this as a medical community. We are going to fight back against this kind of rhetoric, but it's also listening to the voices of those who are most affected that we need to also amplify and listen to, because it's really affecting them the most.
I mean, again, yeah. This is an American president, and yet we know that that has impact over here, even if our officials are saying things differently. So what's your fears around that and the impact that it could have on Canadians?
Yeah, I think we try to say like, we're protected because we're in Canada, but I think this messaging seeps into our politics too sometimes. We have to be aware that things around, like, saying things like vaccines or medications can cause these things, or the medical misogyny that we see and taking away of rights. We're at risk of that as well, and so we need to be aware of that and speak out about it and stop it from happening here as well. Yeah. So we are at risk.
Listen, you were already booked to be here today, so it's just the perfect timing, so to speak, that you are here and being able to address this conversation. I think everybody's thinking about whether you're a parent or not. What is the one thing that you would like to say, the last thing, so everybody remembers the message that you want to spread today?
So what they're saying is untrue. Tylenol does not cause autism. Please know that you are cared for by our medical community. We are looking out for you. You're doing the best that you can for your kids. You did not make any sort of mistakes in pregnancy or otherwise making those decisions. Tylenol is safe, and don't listen to that garbage.
I hate to say, but I probably think we're going to end up talking about more nonsense that comes out of the White House, for sure. We're lucky that you were already planned to be here. You're going to stick with us for the show as well. Dr. Sheila, thank you. It takes a lot of courage to be a doctor right now. I'll tell you that. Courage and energy.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.